Hi, I'm Nikki Taylor, physiotherapist working for Rotherham NHS Trust. The purpose of this video is to demonstrate walking aids and ADL equipment for the training of reablement workers for Rotherham Borough Council. The first walking aid we're going to demonstrate is the walking stick. Obviously, safety checks first. Just check the ferrule at the bottom is not worn. Obviously, make sure the handle is fully working order and there's no bends in the stick. So to get up from the chair with a stick, just let the stick stay by the chair. Just push yourself up through the arms of the chair and then just hold the stick. Now, the correct hand to hold the stick in, if the person has got an affected, painful or weaker leg, would be in the opposite side to that. So for demonstration purposes, I have a cross on my foot, which is representing the weaker affected leg. We use sticks for balance. So obviously there are different ways that we can teach walking patterns with a stick. The first one that we will teach, if the person is very weak, is the stick goes out in front, the affected leg steps up to the stick, and then the other leg then steps two. So it's a step two walking pattern. So we'll repeat that. So it's stick, affected leg, and then the good leg. So stick, affected leg, good leg. And we just carry on in that pattern until we turn, we move the stick out to the side, we follow it round in very small steps. And then once we're going back to a chair, we repeat that pattern of the step two gait. So it's stick and affected leg, other leg up to it. So stick and step two. Stick and affected leg, step two. You're going to always turn round when you approach a chair, making sure that the back of the legs touch the chair. They always then put the stick down first, feel for the chair arms, bottom back and sit down. And that's the step two gait pattern. The other method of walking with a stick, if people are progressing, have got better balance and not in much pain, is a step through gait pattern. It's still the stick in the opposite hand to the affected side, but they step the affected leg, and this time up to the stick, the other leg then steps through. So it's stick and affected leg, and then step your good leg through. So it's stick, affected leg, step through. Stick and affected leg, step through. Stick and affected leg, step through. Stick and affected leg, step through. So it's a nice, natural walking pattern. And that's the step through gait pattern. Now, another version of walking sticks is to have two walking sticks. Now, if a person needs two walking sticks, they're normally progressing on from a frame or elbow crutches, and they have probably less balance than walking with one stick. Obviously, the therapist will determine that. But again, to walk with two sticks, again, there's actually three types of walking pattern. Again, it's a step two, the step through, and reciprocal. I'll just demonstrate this step two gait pattern. So we place the sticks out in front, you step the affected leg up to the sticks, and then you step the other leg to the sticks. So it's sticks, affected leg, step two. Sticks, affected leg, step two. Sticks, affected leg, step two, and then to turn round, just small steps, making sure the affected leg always stays up to the side of those sticks. So nice and controlled. Stick, affected leg, step two. Sticks, affected leg, step two, and one more. There we go. And that's the step two gait pattern. And then again, we can progress that to stepping through if they get more confident. So I'll demonstrate that again. So the stick's out in front, affected leg up, and then we step through. So it's sticks and affected leg, stepping through. Sticks, affected leg, step through. Sticks, affected leg, step through. Sticks, affected leg, step through. So again, you can have quite a nice rhythmical pattern of walking. And then the very final version is reciprocal gait pattern. Can be a little bit complicated for certain people, but other people really enjoy that. It makes it very more natural with the arms and legs. So with this pattern, it's alternate arm, alternate legs. So we're just stepping one leg and the stick out in front, and then the opposite arm and leg. So we're just carrying on with a very nice reciprocal, rhythmical walking pattern. So it just carries on. It's quite nice, but some people do find it hard to coordinate. And if that is the case, we do not show this as a method of walking. And that's the reciprocal gait pattern. Now, we give out crutches for people who had orthopaedic surgery, who are in a lot of pain, who possibly can't put a lot of weight through their legs. But obviously, it's important we look at the safety implications of crutches, because there's a few. So when we're standing, we always just have the crutches at the side, and we push ourselves up to stand. We then grab the crutches in front. So we've always got that chair at the back of us for balance and security. So to get the crutches on, we put one hand in, hold the crutches, and then put the other hand in, and then we can part the handles. Then for balance, we make sure that they're out to the side and in front. So you can put all your weight through the arms of the crutches, and you've got support behind the elbow. Now, again, there are 2 walking patterns with the crutches. And again, I will demonstrate with the affected leg. So with the affected leg, we take the crutches out first. The affected leg steps up to the crutches, and the step 2 gait pattern, the other leg just comes up to it. So it's crutches, affected leg, step 2. Crutches, affected leg, step 2. And we just carry on as we would do, and then a little turn again, trying to take time as you turn, so little movements around. So you can take the weight through the crutches from that affected leg. And then we carry on, affected leg, step 2, crutches, affected leg, step 2, and carry on with that. And then we're going to then demonstrate the step through gait pattern, very similar to the sticks. So the crutches come out in front, the affected leg still stays with the crutches, but this time we are allowing the other leg to step through. So crutches and affected leg, and step through. So you apply the pressure through the arms. So we're going to come round again, small steps. Take your time, and then stepping through. So crutches, affected leg, step through. Crutches, affected leg, step through. Crutches, affected leg, and then small little turns round. So again, you're always in control of that movement. Now, if you did have to not put any weight at all on that leg, this is the actual walking aid that we advise if you've got very good, strong arms. So again, just a quick demonstration without putting any weight on the affected leg. The crutches come out in front. You've obviously not got any weight through that leg. You're just putting weight through. So it is quite a lot harder to actually step through with that. So you just got to just take time. So it'll be only very limited distances, going from chair to bed or to a commode, yeah, if they're not allowed to put weight through. Okay, so that's the non-weight bearing with elbow crutches. Once we've finished walking with the crutches, again, it's really important safety-wise how we learn to take the crutches off before sitting down. Because obviously with the crutches being behind our elbows, if we keep them on and try and sit down, we can end up with a very serious skin tear and arm injury. So it's important that the person then brings the crutches in front. We take them out one at a time. You hold the crutches and either just place them down before sitting down, put your hands on the chair, and then lower yourself back down again. Or sometimes just place them against a wall, okay, before you sit. Very important safety-wise. All right, the next walking aid is the wheeled walking frame. And as it explains, there are actual wheels attached to the bottom of the frame, just at the front, and you've got ferrules at the back. So again, always good practice, checking the ferrules are not worn, checking the wheels are safe and stable, checking there's no bends in the bars, and that the handles are intact. Now, before anybody gets up from a chair and uses the walking aid, it's really important for safety that, again, they only use the chair arms to stand. Okay, so always chair arms push up, and then once you're up, then place the hands on the frame, because the frame is not stable and it is not a means of getting up. Okay, so we use walking frames when people are a lot more frail, they've got pain or arthritic limbs, but they want to still get a nice walking pattern. They can put quite a lot of weight through the hands of the frame. But obviously, it does depend on the service of the environment. Thick carpets or some other floor environments are not good for the walking frame. So again, that will be assessed by the therapist. So the main areas to look for in a walking frame walking pattern is you continue to push the frame, but as you're pushing the frame, you're keeping your feet up to the back ferrules. So you can push and walk. And this is, I can demonstrate, so it depends on the actual carpet. As you can see here, it's a little bit not as smooth for the actual frame. So we're going to walk round, just pushing the frame gently. Again, you can have a reciprocal gate pattern where one foot passes the other, which is the ideal for a walking frame. Or if they are in a little more pain, they can push, step the affected leg and step 2. So we can try that again. Sorry, I'm going to just push, step the affected leg and 2. And as you can see, the actual carpet here isn't ideal for the walking frame. Sometimes harder floor surfaces are the ideal surface for the walking frame. When you are turning, we have to lift the frame and then just step round in very small steps. As I say, because the wheels are only at the front, so it doesn't have a 360-degree turn. So we have to do that ourselves. And then obviously taking your time again, walking back to the chair. Again, either with a step-through gate pattern or a step-2 gate pattern, which is affected leg stepping 2. Again, we have to step all the way round when approaching the chair, really important for safety. Till we feel the back of the chair with our legs. We let go of the frame once we know where the hands are on the chair arms, and then we sit down. And that's how to walk with a walking frame with wheels. Okay, another walking aid is the walking frame without wheels. This has ferrules on all 4 legs. Again, always check the ferrules are not worn. If that is the case, obviously inform your therapist to get a replacement. Have a look as well, just check that the frame is actually intact, and also the handles are also intact before stepping off and walking. Again, really important safety measure as you're using the walking aid, whether getting off a chair, a bed or commode, always using the hands on the chair or the furniture that you're getting up from before you stand. And then obviously then placing your hands on the actual frame. To walk with the frame, we can actually put quite a lot of weight through the actual frame handles. So again, we use these for people who are a little bit more frail, who need to put a lot more weight through. So they can be used for non-weight bearing gait patterns. So to walk with the frame, we normally recommend the step 2 gait pattern. So we place the frame in front, we place the affected leg again up to the back of the ferrules, and then we push our weight through, and then we step up to that affected leg. So it's frame, affected leg up to the ferrules, and then step up to it. So it's a step 2 gait pattern with the frame without the wheels. Okay, so we go forwards, step, the affected leg, and then step 2. And then just keep going. Again, when you're turning, really important to do it in small movements. So again, you're in control and you can apply weight through those handles to take the weight from that affected leg. And again, when you come back to the chair, making sure the frame always stays in front of you. Always have a little bit of a bend in the elbows as well. Never have it so it's reaching out. That's not a safe way of walking. So always make sure you keep up to the back ferrules at all times. We're going to go all the way round when approaching a chair or a bed or a commode. Again, till you can feel the back of your legs on the chair, so it's nice and safe. Then you let go with one hand, feel the chair arm or bed, and the other, and then slowly sit down. And that's walking with a frame. And the final walking aid now is a 3-wheeled walker, also known as a tri-walker. Again, these are issued out mainly for outdoor mobility because they have the 3 very mobile wheels on them, and they have handle brakes, static ones and dynamic brakes, which again we need to discuss for safety reasons. So I'm going to again just demonstrate, if you are going to use the 3-wheeled walker indoors, you do need to apply the same principles, always standing up, using your arms of the chair to stand. And then when you have the 3-wheel walker in front, always make sure that the static brakes are on. So I'm going to demonstrate how to apply those. But first we need to look at opening up the 3-wheeled walker. As you can see, there's a little bracket in between. So if we open the arms and then push that bracket, we now have a sturdy 3-wheeled walker position. And again, we have adjustable handles, make sure everything is in working order. And also we have a little handle underneath, which is the dynamic and the static brake. So as I mentioned before, when we're standing up to a three-wheeled walker, we must have the static brakes on. So to apply a static brake, as you can hear the clunk click of the brake there, we need to press the brake handle down. So it's one down and then the other, and then that's a static brake. So then that applies the brakes at the back of the wheels and that three-wheel walker is not moving. So that is useful when they're standing up and also when they're going to sit down. To release the brakes, I've probably just demonstrated that, but you just give it a gentle squeeze, one at a time, so you can feel that those brakes have now been released. So when we're walking with a three-wheeled walker, as it is more movable, it is really important, safety-wise, that the person keeps up within the frame up to the back wheels. So all you do is you push it gently. As you can see, it moves quite nicely. And again, just stepping through gate pattern, so you've got a nice reciprocal gate movement. Again, slow movements as you're turning round, because it does go a full circle very easily. So if you were going uphill or downhill, you might want to be applying some dynamic brakes just to slow you down. So to do that, we actually squeeze the handles upwards, like you would do on a bicycle brake. So that would just allow you to control slowing the movement. So again, that you can keep up to those back wheels. And again, the same theory always apply to any walking aid. If you're going to sit down, you make sure you've got your back of your legs to the back of the chair. You apply those static brakes, so it's the clunk click, I like to call it, because that's the sound of the brakes. Once you know that walking aid's not going anywhere, you then apply your hands to the chair arms and sit yourself back down.
So this is a kitchen trolley. It's very similar to walking using a rollator frame, which is the frame on wheels. But what you have to be aware of with this is it has four wheels, so they can go away with you. So you need to be careful that the client knows how to use it safely. They won't be issued one of these if they're unsafe. So in a lot of kitchens, there's a ridge going from the living room to the kitchen. So what you want to do is when you've got items on here, like a drink, so it doesn't overspill, what you do is when you get to the ridge, imagine there's a ridge there, you want to go over one wheel at a time, and then you don't get spillages. If you try and go over it with two wheels, you'll get spillages, or what we find is a lot of clients will try and lift it up, which is a big no-no, because we don't want them to lose their balance. Okay, so with this, I'm going to demonstrate how to get up from a chair. So with this, again, you never use the kitchen trolley to get yourself up, because if that kitchen trolley goes, so will the client. You always push down on the arms of the chair to stand up, then hold on to the trolley. And when you're using it, you're walking just as you would with the rollator frame, stepping up to the wheels. You want to hold the kitchen trolley in the centre so you're in control of the trolley rather than the trolley being in control of you. If you hold it here, the trolley will run away with you. Okay? So you always need the client to hold it in the middle so they're in control of the trolley. Okay. So the safety note to use the kitchen trolley is it's only ever used for transportation of items. So that can be washing, going from the bedroom, if you live in a bungalow, to the washing machine, or from taking your dirty pots to the sink, and for carrying your meals to the living room. So when you are looking at enabling, what we don't want you to do when you go to someone's home is to do the task for them. So for example, making a hot drink, we want you to just stand back and watch the client make the drink, but you're going to assist if they're making any mistakes. So I've got a client here, Nikki, who is going to make a drink, and she's going to make some mistakes, and we'll point them out to you as she does them. Do you want to make a drink, Nikki, as you would at home? Okay. So is there any water in there, Nikki?
Oh, I've not checked. Sorry, no. No.
No.
And I've switched it on, it's not going on.
No, so we should never let the client switch the kettle on without checking for water. So when you're enabling, always ask the client, have they checked the kettle for water? So she didn't switch it on neither here at the plug. Most clients leave it plugged in. If they don't have water in the kettle and they switch it on plugged in, then you can damage the kettle, okay? So just be careful when you go to someone's house. Those are the things you may have to do for them if they're not thinking of doing them. Okay. With some clients, we're improvising here for a kitchen. So I've got a cup filled with water, so I'm going to pretend that Nikki has already got the water and she's not taking the kettle to the sink because it's too heavy for her. She's using a jug because a plastic jug is lighter. So with some clients that haven't got the strength in their upper limbs or have got a tremor, it's better to use a jug to take it to the kettle and then pour the water into the kettle. So once the kettle's boiled, what we also look at when they're making a drink is a client opening the cupboard door, taking things out and looking at their balance. Now, if they have any visual deficits or have any cognitive deficits, they might not, when they open the drawer, they might not step back and they might catch themselves at the side of the head. So always be aware of anything like that. Or when they're shutting the drawer, always encourage them to step back so they can shut it clearly, or they might need to sidestep further to one side or the other side. So do you want to finish making your drink?
Oh, I've got no milk. I'll have to get some milk.
And where do you keep the milk?
It's in the fridge.
Okay, so you're going to sidestep, and then you're going to use the kitchen trolley. So remember to hold it at the centre and walk with the trolley. So, can you see the door's not opening there? So you need to come to this side. That's it, small steps. Or the other way to do it is if you turn it around and you have the trolley this way, then you can open the fridge as well. Step closer, you can use the work surface to lean on to get the bottle, okay? So again, you want to turn the trolley around and then so you're closer to the work surface. Step round and turn yourself round, that's it. Okay.
And then I need to take it to the living room.
Yeah. So you can't take your drink to the living room with your frame. So how are you going to take it?
I'll try.
Yeah. Lovely. So what she did there is she made sure she could feel the chair behind her with her legs. She let go of the trolley and then felt for the arms of the chair, which is the safest way to sit down. When we're looking at clients taking something out of the fridge, and it's a table bottom fridge where they've got a small fridge under the work surface, if they've had a hip replacement, depending on the type of operation they've had, they may be able to open the fridge door and bend down normally and get something out. If they're struggling to bend down or the the hip that they've had operated is causing pain, what you can do is you can ask them to put their hand on the work surface, take their operated leg back. So if you take it back and then you bend over your good leg, then you can take something out of the fridge. Now, if it's too low in the fridge, so right at the bottom, what we would suggest is things come up to the higher shelves and the bottom shelf isn't used. Likewise, with the cupboard, you might get clients that have visual deficits or they have problem-solving deficits, so they might open a cupboard and not remember to step back or to move to the side. So they might end up smacking their head. So what we would suggest, if they struggle to reach into a cupboard or lose their balance, we'd suggest them bringing things from the cupboards and putting them either on the work surface or to the lower shelves of the cupboard so they're easily reachable. So those are the things that you can be looking at and working with them and their families with. So what we've got here is what we call a one cup, and this we recommend clients that struggle with lifting the kettle, pouring, recognising when they've got enough water in or they've got a tremor and the boiling water goes everywhere, which obviously is a concern for them scolding themselves. We recommend a one cup. So with the one cup, if you look behind, the button here would open it up, and then you pour the water either from the sink, from the tap, or using a jug into here. And then you just press it down. And then you make your cup up. Before you switch it on, you always make your cup up, so you put your tea bag or coffee, sugar, milk in the cup, you pop it under, you switch it on. Once it's boiled, it will just pour 1 cup of drink. And then the client can take it, remove the tea bag, give it a stir, and they've made a drink. Okay, so it enables them to be independent with making a hot drink for themselves. So if it's a goal of theirs, then it's good to enable that. Okay, so we've got Nikki, who's going to play our client, and we've got water in the cup for her from the sink, and she's going to make a drink using the 1 cup. And what I'm going to be looking at also is whether she remembers. So when we're working on memory or practicing memory, we want to work on whether they remember the sequence. So here, I've not plugged it in, and I'm going to see if Nikki remembers that. So, Nikki, what have you done there? Because that's quite dangerous. What have you done there? Can you tell me? You did switch it on. But when we're using the 1 cup, we need to make sure the cup is underneath it. Otherwise, once that's boiled, the water's just going to pour all over your surface. Now, normally, Nikki, that would light up. And it'd make a noise, and it isn't. Can you work out why?
Plug.
Can you plug it in for me?
Do I switch it back on?
You can do. Now, Nikki, I'm going to get you to sit. This isn't a perching stool, but I'm going to get you to sit on your chair while it's boiling, because I know you get tired. It does make quite a lot of noise, but don't be frightened.
That's good, isn't it?
It is. So, Nikki, do you want to take your drink?
Yeah. Oh, dear.
Can you see what you've done?
I've left the milk in.
You have, but you didn't pour it, did you?
No.
So how are you going to get that milk out of there? Because that's hot water.
have to use a spoon.
Yeah.
I'll just put that in there
Yeah.
for now, shall I?
Okay, well done.
Okay. Have it black today.
You can have it black, or there's some more milk there.
Lovely.
There you go.
Oh, lovely.
Now, Nikki, if you're sitting on a perch stool, you can stay where you are and drink it, or if you've not got a perch stool and it's just a kitchen stool without arms and back, we'll take it through to your dining room, okay?
Okay, whenever supervising anyone on the stairs, if they only have one rail and only have a stick, the correct way to supervise or give them verbal prompts would be to make sure their hand is placed further down the rail, the stick is then placed down on that step, then the bad leg, which is their affected leg, goes down the step, and then the good leg. And then you repeat. So the hand goes down the rail, the stick follows onto that step, your bad leg, then your good leg. So hand, stick, bad, then good. So it's always bad down to hell, and then we repeat for each step. So bad, then good. So it's rail, stick, bad, then good. Rail, stick, bad, then good. So they've always got their weight forwards. When going up the stairs, when supervising or verbal prompting, always making sure that they've got the full foot on the step before they start. Then obviously to go upstairs, we give them the terms of going up with the good leg. So we always have the hand further up the rail again, the stick stays with the bad leg, and then we go up leading with your good strong leg. So that goes up, and then the stick and your bad leg follows. So again, hand up the rail, good leg goes up, and then the stick and the bad leg follows. So rail, good, stick and bad leg. Rail, good, stick and bad leg. And we keep going. So it's always good goes to heaven, and then we always say bad down to hell. So good goes up, and then the stick and your affected leg stay together. Your good leg always goes up first because that's your strong leg. So you push up through your good leg, and the stick and the bad leg follows. So it's rail, good, stick and bad leg follow. Rail, good. So you've always got that nice strength where you've got it with your hand and your good leg leading you up the step. Okay, so when going down the stairs with a crutch, you always make sure that if you've got a pair of crutches, one of the crutches stays at the top of the stairs. So you will need an additional crutch at the bottom, or if someone can carry it for that person, then obviously that is the other option too. So going down the stairs, again, you go always up to the edge of the step. Your hand goes further down the rail. Your crutch goes down to that step, and then your bad leg goes down to the step first, then your good leg. So your hand on the rail, your crutch, then your bad leg, and then you're good. Okay, so it's hand, crutch, bad leg, good leg. Hand, crutch, bad leg, good leg. And just continue down the full flight of stairs. So going upstairs with a crutch and one stair rail. Again, making sure your feet are close to the bottom step. Your hand goes further up the rail to start. You always lead upstairs with your good leg because that's your strong leg. So the good leg comes up, you push up, and then your bad leg and the crutch follow. Okay, so it's arm, good leg, push up, and then follow it with your crutch and your bad leg. Hand, good leg, crutch and bad leg. Hand, good leg pulls up, crutch and bad leg. Hand, good leg, crutch and bad. Keep going all the way to the top. And then once there, you're going to reattach your other crutch, and then off you go.
So now we're going to have a look at dressing. Again, we're not helping, we're enabling clients. So when someone says that they can't get their trousers on, they can't. What they're saying is that they can't take the trousers down to the feet and get their feet into the trousers. So what I normally do, is they're sat on their seat, what I would try and get them to do is just slide their hands from their knees down to their ankles, and that way they should be able to get their trousers on if they can do that. So I always say put your bad leg in first. So if the right leg is the worst leg, what I would get them to do is gather their trousers up. So they've got them, they're holding them. They can slide their hands down to their ankles and then get their feet in. So feed the foot through, and then they can just pull them up. And if that's their worst leg, they should then be able to lift their good leg up to put that in. Okay, so that's your trousers, and underwear is the same as well. So with the top, you want to say to them, make sure that they've got the top the correct way. So make sure it's not inside out. Check the label is on the inside, not inside out. Make sure they know where the front is and which side is the back. So again, it's dress your bad arm first. So whichever one, if they've got arthritis and they can't lift their left arm up high enough, get them to dress that one first. So again, you want to gather it up and then take your arm through and then just gather it up. And you want the sleeve to come past your elbow, because then it's easier to get it over your head. So the sleeve over the elbow as high as you can. And then it's going to be, some people put their right arm through, or for some people it's easier to put their head and then their right arm through. Okay. Now for undressing, when they've got their top on, all they have to do is, from the back, they just need to pull it up, gather it, and then it comes over their head and out of their arms. So for undressing, it's the opposite of dressing. You take your good arm out first and then pull it off your bad arm. So for undressing, what you want to do is you get them to stand up, you get them to lower their garments for the lower limbs, lower their garments, sit back down, and you take your good leg out first. So if your right leg is the bad leg, you take your good leg out first, because that will come up higher. They can move that higher. So just get them to take the trousers off and then